Hey guys, this is Jerry Mateo from In the DAW, and welcome back. I'm sorry this video is a little bit late. I've been working a lot with my new job. I gotta do videos and stuff like this for a couple of companies now, so now I'm busy a lot. Anyway, today I want to talk to you guys about Hornet plugins Guitar Kit. This is basically designed to be very akin to a lot of these modern day plugins where they allow you to have control on what type of tubes, what type of components you use on every instance. How, if you see here, we have a input type, 4 different heads. We have 6 different preamp tubes, 5 different tone stacks. The power tubes, we have 6, and the high gain tubes, we have 6. And as you can see here, they are named after very prominently and very well-known tubes. So you know the type of tones to expect. One thing that I think is very interesting, though, is as far as the cabinet and microphone emulation, you're actually able to bypass each one individually, and you'll be surprised how they can completely change the sound. Think of it as the cabinet emulation without the microphone is basically just the cab without a mic. It sounds different, and sometimes it can sound really good. As far as the speakers, we have a Green M, which I believe is a greenback, Preem 65, pretty sure we all know what that is, Modern 75, and a Vintage Reissue. We have open and close, which actually do change the tonality of everything. Again, you have a bypass button, and I'm really digging this kind of like this little just red or orangish illumination. I think it looks really cool. We also have 4 different microphone types. We have a dynamic 57. Everyone knows what a 57 is. A 421, a condenser 414, and a condenser 87, which is a very famous, very popular mic. We're able to change the distance and the access, which is basically the position from the left and right of the speaker versus the distance of it. Now, I personally would also like to have a height, just because moving left to right and back to front is really cool, but adding an ability to have height adds an extra control, or even maybe off-axis control where you can kind of slant it. Just an idea, because I know Hornet Audio does a lot of MK version 2s or MK3s, where they do add a lot of crazy new things. These amps also have a input and output gain. The output gain is obviously to make sure you have a consistent volume in and out, so you can have a proper, AB. But the input gain is very important because if you think about it, different tubes have different headroom and they have different tones depending on how hard you hit them. And some interfaces don't have a lot of headroom, so you might need to crank up the gain, or they have too much headroom and they're hitting this amp way too hard. And I've noticed that this amp, especially on the clean settings, is very sensitive and actually very realistic. But I'll be honest with you guys, this thing sounds really good. It sounds fantastic again on clean tones, and I'm actually digging it on heavy metal tones too. It's really light on CPU, it's 0 latency, so you really don't have to bug or worry about anything crazy. So what we're going to do is we have something kind of special for you guys today. We have 2 examples that I've put into one session. On our left over here is the metal tones, and this is with new strings and everything, so people who are complaining about the last video about my strings sounding like garbage can complain a little bit less. And then we have this, which is a recording that I did with my cousin and a local artist here in LA. His name is Stephen Bonilla. I think we did this at his apartment with his Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40. It's just DIing straight into it. And all we're doing is we're basically using those clean DI tracks to get like this jazzy sound. I'm using, again, Perfect Drums. I have 2 sets where one is like super clean, no effects. And then for the metal one, we obviously make it sound metal. That's enough talking for now. Let's go into this. We're going to click here. We're going to start this out. Let's highlight these tracks, both of them, so that they're grouped. And we're going to bypass plugins. We're going to hear how this DI sounds by itself. So here we go. Cool. So as you can hear from that, it's a very clean DI guitar. But now let's see how this sounds when we engage our amps. Cool. So I know I let that little example drag on a little bit long, but the reason why is because I really wanted you to hear the fact that you can hear the amp distorting while being clean at the same time, especially on the left side. This is all I have going on as far as processing. The guitars are going clean, straight in, straight through. And what I'm doing is I'm basically using this on the right side, is I'm cranking the input gain so that when he does dig in more, it distorts and it sounds grittier, and I'm loving that. So that's it for this portion of the video. But now we have an example of how to do this on metal tones. Now what we're doing here on this case is we're using this on some guitars I recorded myself the other day or yesterday. And as you see here, I'm using their Tube Screamer. This is actually a pretty interesting little plugin. It doesn't have as much output as I would like personally, but I think it sounds really cool. I would love it if they added an ability to have a higher output, but I think it sounds really good. And I'm using these custom settings that I created again. And all I'm doing with the FabFilter EQs is I'm just kind of cutting stuff that I usually cut from most electric guitars or heavy guitars anyway. So let's listen how this sounds now. Again, this is going to be way different than before. This is for a metal. So let us go into this. Let's highlight both of these. And let's see what we got. We'll pin both of these, and here we go. And there you go. I mean, this is all up to speculation or all up to your own ears, but personally, I think this sounds really good considering I took less than 2 minutes to create this sound. As you can see, I was bypassing the amp and I was bypassing the entire setup, and I was also bypassing this top lane, which is the Hornet Tube Screamer style pedal. Now the bundle that they have has a orange distortion pedal, the Tube Screamer. It has the guitar kit, and I believe it has a wah pedal. I don't have the wah pedal. I would love to get my hands on it, but if I do manage to get one, I will totally make a video on it. But I believe it also has, I'm not sure about this for sure, but I believe it has also comes with a really good delay pedal emulation. And to be honest, the delay is amazing. And that one is so good that we're actually going to be making a video maybe in about 2 weeks. We are going to have a video about that delay pedal. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for today. So once again, this is Jerry Mateo with In the Dot, and I hope you guys have a good day.